Have you ever watched a movie that left a powerful message that stayed with you long after the credits rolled? Juice, directed by Ernest R. Dickerson, is a film that explores themes of friendship, music, crime, betrayal, and the tragic consequences of conflicts. The movie is set in the early 90s and follows four high school boys, with a particular focus on Tupac Shakur's character, Bishop. This film delivers a strong warning to the audience about prevalent issues in the world, with a specific focus on the Black community. The movie portrays the dangers of peer pressure and toxic masculinity, the glorification of violence and gangs, and the intoxicative nature of power and its consequences. Watch until the end to see how Juice serves as a cautionary tale against glorifying gun violence and crime. The movie opens in a typical 90s African-American setting with a rap song playing in the background. We see four high school boys, Bishop, Q, Raheem, and Steele, waking up in their Harlem homes preparing for school. While Bishop comes from a somewhat broken home with a traumatized father, Q's mother is practical and advises him to attend a good school to secure his future. Despite his struggles, Bishop is shown as a loving son who tries to take care of his father. Throughout the day, a group of teenagers, Q, Raheem, Bishop, and Steele, engage in various activities that reveal their misplaced priorities, including stealing and engaging in deviant gang behavior. Along the way, they face challenges such as peer pressure, toxic masculinity, and encounters with law enforcement. Q, who dreams of becoming a DJ, discovers an opportunity to showcase his talent in a DJ competition, but his friends mock and downplay his aspirations. Despite the negativity, Q remains determined, and the crew works together to steal audition tapes for the competition. As the day progresses, the group encounters criminal activities in their neighborhood and faces moral dilemmas, particularly when Bishop is excited about robbing a bar with an old friend recently released from prison. The rest of the crew tries to convince Bishop of the dangers of such actions. As the plot progresses, we observe how the crew members have distinct attitudes towards danger and crime. Q is driven by his aspirations, Raheem cares for the well-being of the group, and Bishop craves power and excitement, even if it involves putting themselves in harm's way. This brings us to the secondary cautionary message from Juice, where Bishop glorifies and idolizes the violent conclusion of a movie and praises the antagonist for seizing control of his own fate. He views this action as a means of taking charge of one's life and becoming the master of one's destiny. Later, we witness a news broadcast reporting Blizzard's demise during the robbery. While Bishop's peers are stunned by the news and relieved they are not involved, Bishop holds a contrasting viewpoint. He proceeds to rant about the gang's weak position and tries to encourage the group to exert more violence to avoid being targeted by the authorities and rival gangs. Bishop cites Blizzard's death as an illustration and argues that they need to have the juice, even if it means dying for it as Blizzard did. However, Q dissents from Bishop and points out the possibility of all of them being killed if they had assisted Blizzard, leading to a heated altercation that is ultimately interrupted by Raheem. During the course of the film, we witness Q conversing with Raheem on his stairway, who informs him about a crucial meeting scheduled for the crew the next morning. Q, however, prioritizes his dreams of being a DJ and informs Raheem that he won't be able to attend the meeting as he has an audition for a DJ competition in the morning. Raheem understands and wishes him luck, asking him to meet after the audition. Q practices and goes for the audition the following day, where he qualifies for the competition. Overjoyed with his success, he walks down the street happily to meet his friends in the courtyard. However, when Q shares his triumph with Bishop, he diverts the conversation to a more perilous topic. Bishop informs Q and Raheem about their plan to rob the store owner Kyle's on Saturday, the same night as Q's competition. Although Q opposes the idea and wants no part in it, Raheem convinces him that no one will get hurt and that it will be a straightforward operation. Bishop labels Q as a coward for refusing and fearing being seen as weak. Q succumbs to the pressure and agrees to participate. Bishop is thrilled with their plans. The moment he gets hold of a gun, he feels a rush of power, leading to a dangerous delusion that he now possesses the power to decide who lives and dies. This fixation on power results in the third warning: power is intoxicating and always comes at a price. In the first round of the competition, Q emerges as the winner, and the crew proceeds to carry out the robbery. However, the situation quickly deteriorates when Bishop, under the influence of the juice, shoots and kills Mr. Kyles in a moment of confusion. Seeking refuge in an abandoned building, the crew engages in a heated argument over Bishop's reckless actions. During the dispute, Bishop refuses to relinquish his power over the gun, leading to a physical altercation with Raheem. Without hesitation, Bishop fatally shoots Raheem and steals the stolen money before fleeing from the police. Bishop becomes consumed with the feeling of power that the gun provides and disregards the safety of his crew or anyone else. Q and Steele recognize Bishop's growing instability and fear for their safety. prompting Bishop to force them to return to the competition at the club while hiding the gun there. Devastated by Raheem's death, Q loses focus on the competition. The police arrive and Bishop callously informs Q of Raheem's passing before they are taken in for questioning. Bishop attempts to shift the blame onto Rodimus, but Q realizes that they are now viewed as a gang. The aftermath of the robbery and Raheem's death leaves Steele in tears, Q on the edge, and Bishop seemingly unaffected. Following a violent incident, the relationship between the trio undergoes a permanent change. The Bishop's obsession with power intensifies, and he refuses to let go of their past life. Q and Steele try to distance themselves from Bishop, but he becomes increasingly delusional and consumed by his grandiose ideas. During a moment of vulnerability, Bishop confesses to Q that he is mentally unstable and does not care about anyone, including himself. He belittles Q for his aversion to violence, claiming that he alone has the power to determine life and death. Bishop further complicates the trio's dynamic by boasting about the influence his gun grants him to Steele. Later on, Q and Steele witness Bishop engage in a confrontation with the Rodimus gang, but choose not to intervene, leaving him to fend for himself. Despite being outnumbered, Bishop refuses to back down, and the police eventually break up the altercation. Bishop follows the gang leader to a subway corner and commits yet another murder due to his insatiable desire for power and control. As the movie nears its conclusion, Q acquires a gun for protection, anticipating Bishop's violent and erratic behavior. When Q plans to confess Bishop's crimes to his significant other, he receives a call from Steele, who has been coerced into meeting Bishop at the pool hall. The protagonist, Bishop, succumbs to his growing hunger for power and shoots Steele, framing Q for the crime. Q becomes entangled in a perilous game of cat and mouse with Bishop, who he knows is responsible for Steele's shooting. However, Q realizes that no one else will believe him and decides to take matters into his own hands, setting up a midnight meeting with Bishop. On the way to the meeting, Q is almost consumed by the power of his own gun, nearly shooting a homeless man before realizing that the gun is controlling him. Meanwhile, Steele reveals to Q's lover, Yolanda, the truth about Raheem's killer and Bishop's plan to frame Q. Q tries to reason with Bishop, but it leads to a violent confrontation. Bishop shoots at Q but misses and hits Yolanda instead, and the chase continues up a rooftop. In the end, Bishop's obsession with power leads to his downfall as he trips off the rooftop to his death. Q is left devastated, realizing the danger of pursuing power and control. The movie Juice serves as a cautionary tale against glorifying gun violence and crime, and the devastating consequences that come with it. As we come to the end of this analysis of Juice, it's clear that the film has a powerful message that remains relevant today. The movie shows how easy it is to get caught up in the allure of power and violence, which can lead to devastating consequences. It also highlights the importance of friendship and how our actions can affect those around us. So the next time you are faced with a difficult decision, remember the cautionary message from Juice and think about the potential consequences of your actions. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button for more content like this.